Alright, so we're going to demonstrate a few tricks in removing spuds from radiators. We've got here, this is an unusual situation. We have a 3/4 inch spud end here and then a 1/2 inch spud over here. So this looks like a good demonstration. Now the typical spud removal tool that is readily available is this monstrosity, which has goes all the way from 1/2 inch to 2 inch, and any tool that's designed to do a multitude of tasks very seldom does everyone well. Usually when you find these things in like antique shops and so forth, this 1/2 inch is broken off. You can see here that this has been used and it's actually bent. But we may want to try to use this. This is a very good assembly tool. It leaves something to be desired in spud removal. Now this is a very specialized spud removal tool. This is for Sloan urinal tailpieces. And this is usually my go-to tool for inserting in here and picking up the lugs on the side, but in this particular case it doesn't want to work on this one. So I usually try to have a selection of these. What appears this gap is not wide enough, and I do not have access to a machine shop. Usually I have to use somewhat crude methods to make this work. The trick is to not only use the spud removal tool on the inside, but to have something on the outside, and that's where this comes in. So this is a modified vice grip. The jaws have been ground so that they're as narrow as possible, and what we're going to do is this is the oval style rather than the straight style. This can work up to 1.5 inches, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this in combination with the spud removal tool, the internal spud removal tool, and see if we can get it working. So the trick to using this is the reason why you grind the jaws off, because then you can get in these narrow spaces, and is to modify this lock it down, and then now this one here is an Allen screw back and it says 5mm. Well, I don't happen to have 5mm, but I have a pair of adjustables. What you do is you use this to get that really tight. You want those teeth to really dig in. And then you want to get a 1 inch either conduit, or you can use 1 inch copper pipe, and that slides right over the handle like so. And I can put torque here. This is about 2 feet long, probably too long. You also want to have the radiator that's stable. Usually, unless it's really large and you got an extra person to stabilize it, you want to lay it down on some cardboard. And not my favorite tool, but I think we can make this work. So that goes in there and catches the lug. You get an adjustable with a wide enough jaw. That usually goes right here. And yes, another Cheetah bar. This one you don't want to put too much torque on this, because if the lugs break off, your day is going to get long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some torque on here, and then I'm going to put most of the torque on the outside, and out she comes. So once you get it to move, You break it. Once you get it to move, then it's a small radiator. Yeah, sometimes, if the lugs break off now, you can switch off to the modified channel locks. As I say, this is not my favorite tool. I'm very far out. I want to be as close in as I can, so I usually have a different set. That's unusual that has failed me. But out it comes. So there's the 3/4 inch out, and there let's see if I can get you a close up of the lugs here. There are the lugs, and you can see they're very wide. So each manufacturer has their own little way of doing things. They're actually very robust looking. You probably could have made this tool successful. Usually the lugs in there are very small. Now the 1/2 inch has its own set of issues. As I said, usually when you find this tool used, this thing's been broken off. You drop it and it snaps right off because this is fairly brittle. It's a cast. It's cast, malleable. And what I find is it's a little, this thing, the variation on this is tremendous. So what I'm starting to do, this is a spud removal tool designed for European radiators. This fits nothing in North America. It's all metric, weird sizes, but this is the starting point. This is you find these fairly common online. You want to get the forged ones that are, see if you can see the tooling marks. This is a much better metallurgy. It's not likely to snap off when you put stress on this thing. And what I've done is crudely ground it down to fit the 1/2 inch size, and I've got different diameters because you never quite know what you're going to run into, and it always seems like the one you've got doesn't seem to work. So that goes in there and engages the lug. You want to slowly tap it home, and then see that's nice and short. And we're going to set up our move the camera for me here. There we go. Go ahead and set up the jaws of death here. That's the first lock. And tighten that bad boy up. Make sure it grips well. And then set this up on there. Make sure you're turning in the right direction. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So take up torque here, and then up. There she moves. Now this one was pretty loose already. Not a good demonstration, at least in reality. So this is a situation where everything seems to have gone reasonably well. Other guys like to cut these things out. They get really good at it. I really don't want to get good at cutting these things out. So there's so you can see the lugs there. Yeah, and it fits it right there, like that. So I hope that was of benefit. It seems to be a fairly elegant way. About the only disadvantage of using that system is it does put some teeth marks on the outside, but that sure beats a stripped out unit. And I thank you very much. Turn this thing off.